Everyone. Yesterday, by accident, I uh, I went live. Sometimes it happens. Accidents, especially to old people. But old I got, I don't have filters, and many times I say what I think. So I don't want the perfect version of myself. Perfect is so boring. I am flawed. So because my channel is an old woman journal, and I am more than just dogs and cats and hiking and whatever else. That accident with the unwanted life problem made me understand that journaling is not showing a face that is not accurate. So I kind of like it. There are uh, a lot of people that are having their channels about a specific theme, and always they try to show themselves in the best light. Well, I am not perfect. Nobody is perfect, and in fact, perfection would be boring. Showing something, a distorted image of themselves, sometimes puts in other people an unsettling feeling, in the sense, I'm sorry, I have aphasia. I had a stroke a while ago, and the connections between thalamus and cerebellum and cerebral cortex, not cerebellum, sometimes it's spotty, and I cannot find my words. That's why I went back to numbers. I love numbers. Because I am journaling and I cannot write anymore, forgetting my words, I decided to go live. In this way, I don't edit something I don't like. And if I see on my live streaming something I didn't like, well, I'm going to correct it in real life. In fact, that is most important. The big problem with old people, they don't have filters, and I don't have filters either. And for that reason, many times I say things that makes myself uncomfortable, sometimes makes other people uncomfortable, but well, as I said, perfect is boring. How I start my mornings? I watch news. I want to see what's going on around the world. And people avoid news. They avoid politics in general. Not all the people, some people. Because they are too busy with their lives, with jobs, with children. They hardly have time to watch a little bit of news on their phone, and usually they have a favorite platforms. Now that I am retired, I have the luxury to see stuff, most stuff, and I watch CNN, I watch Fox, I watch German news, French news, Romanian news, Indian news, and I put all the information together. And I don't have to watch the whole segments or everything. I even watch Russian news. Um, that's like communist dictatorship stuff. And then I make up my mind from all the information I got from different news. I decide, okay, this is what's happening. Every news station, either if it's private owned or it's owned by the state, they are biased regardless what they are saying. I used to trust BBC. I don't trust them anymore after certain bias movements going on. So unfortunately, I cannot trust journalism. Uh, but I get the whole picture of what's going on. I start my morning with that. Then I'm going on my bicycle for a few miles. Since the stroke, my right side, it's really was really weak. Hardly I could stand up after the stroke. But now I'm walking. I went on Appalachian Trail. Even if I didn't finish, my right side is still weak, and I'm exercising. I wouldn't say every day. There are days when I am lazy. So after exercise, after the news, I go on the numbers because I cannot write anymore. Every morning I work on mathematics, calculus. Now I am on calculus again, and Sudoku. Then I spend time with my dogs. When they wake up, it's still dark outside. And my cats. Well, in fact, my dogs are not my dogs. They are my grandchildren dogs. So, in fact, all my life, I ended up with somebody else's unwanted dog. And yeah, hi, Aiden. And for example, these two dogs that I have now, Ellie is going to leave in August next year. Yeah, next year. Tonight is going to be a new year. Wow, I cannot believe it would be a new year. And because my granddaughter is finishing her bachelor degree here, and then she is going to go back to North Carolina where she was born and takes one dog with her. In fact, it's her dog. And I am glad that she would leave because it's a lot on me with an extra guest in the house, a young lady who spends the time either studying, sleeping, or gaming with her friends in North Carolina, spending. So I love her, but I'll be glad when she would be gone. Anyway, all my life I had dogs that I was so-called fostering, but in fact, okay, Aiden asked me what is my name. Okay, my name is Adriana. Um, Today, usually I start my mornings with my mornings with I don't change from my pajamas. If I don't have to leave the house, I am not changing out of my pajamas. I just am comfortable. The advantages of being old. And I don't know where I was going with this. Anyway, today I have to get out of the house. Well, my accent, somebody, no, no French. I was born in Romania, and mm, I've been in United States for 36 years. I met my husband in United States. Thank you very much. Uh, uh, Funny about my so beautiful accent. When I met my husband, I had a hard time in America when I came here. In fact, I was begging somebody to give me a ticket plane to go back. And to go back to Romania. And what happened when I met my husband, he used to say that I have a sexy accent. And of course, after 2 years of marriage, he asked me, "Aren't you going to change your accent?" And of course not. I don't know. I suppose I was so self-involved with other things. I didn't work um, too hard on correcting my accent. I was busy with work, school. In fact, in Romania, I was an accountant and coming from a communist country to United States, a different economic system. I had I had to go back to school. Uh, I didn't hear anywhere you live in United States. Well, it's funny thing. When I go back in Romania, they asking me where I was born because I have an accent in Romanian now. So I didn't get an American accent, but I ended up having an accent in Romanian, uh, and now I am everybody wherever I go. Where are you from? Well, I'm a child of the world, and uh, come to Boston, you'll have an accent by the end of the year. I doubt it. Boston, I live in Michigan, in northern Michigan, in the woods. So, uh, um, in the middle of the woods and the middle of nowhere. Well, I have a highway passing through the front of the house, which when I moved here, it was really quiet. But now they increase speed from 40 miles an hour to 65, and it got noisy. I think I want to sell and to move. Yes, I am lucky I don't live in Flint. I like where I live. In fact, when we moved here, because my husband retired and the city life was depressing him, but I was born in a big city, and it was um, it was hard for me. It's okay to come in the nature in vacation, but it's hard. It was hard for me. I was born in Bucharest. I lived in suburbs of Detroit area. Well, I didn't leave Romania because I wanted to. There were some problems, and United States with Romania had one of those deals with the favorite nation for Romania. They gave the status of favorite nation to Romania, and Romania, in exchange, so they are not paying tariffs. In exchange, they are allowing United States to pull out their less desirable less desirable people. Okay. What do you mean? Questions about your main video on your channel, and it's just that they seem all tied together. Which, I don't know which video. I have like 252 videos. In fact, it ended up until the revolution, the status of the most favorite nations. Well, in the moment when the revolution started, I was in the worst position possible. I had a passport with the visa for United States, and they still didn't let me go. So I was a traitor of the country once again. So I went through the revolution. Hello, Nuki, and Nuki Closet. Hello, and it was a hard time, and finally I made it out of from Romania. After the revolution, yes, I did travel freely, and in fact, I was planning to go back to stay in Romania, and just before I went for the first time back in Romania 5 years later, I met my husband. Then it wasn't my husband, and I really didn't want to marry him because I wanted to go back to Romania to live in Romania. But I went there a few 5 years later in the airplane. I was shaking when we were above Romania with emotions. Unfortunately, I went for 4 months. Unfortunately, I realized shortly that I became an American. The freedom of speech, the liberties that Americans had, the political system that it was in 1990, even Americans complained about it. For me, it was something I couldn't give up. So I returned to America and I married my husband. In fact, my husband didn't even use to vote when I met him. Yes, I do have some Romanian recipes, and I now and then cook. I am not exactly a kitchen person, and my husband found out soon after we got married. In fact, when we were living together. You want to learn the recipes? Well, the recipes that I used, for example, stuffed cabbage, it's made a little bit different in Romania than here. And my husband, first time I said I'll make stuffed cabbage, and he said, "Oh, I don't like that. I don't want to eat that." I said, "You don't have to. I'll make it for myself." And then I made stuffed cabbage. I went to work. When I came home, I just found only a little bit on the bottom of the pan. He and his friends, they ate it all while I was at work. So I suppose they liked it. Even he said he doesn't like stuffed cabbage. It's made, usually I work with what I have in the house when I cook. I use the recipe, but loosely. I don't follow exactly a recipe. Oh, you like moussaka and tokanica. In fact, moussaka, it's a Greek dish, but Romania being where it is located, everybody passes through, including throughout the history, Turks, Greeks, and yeah, that recipe we got it from the Greeks. The moussaka is pretty easy. to make. I wanted to ask me how my day was. Well, so far so good. I watched my news, I went on my bike, I did a little bit of math and Sudoku. And today I have to go because once a week I volunteer, and I volunteer for a thrift store that all the benefits from the thrift stores are going to an abused women shelter. And okay, what do you want? So Rafrika is interested in Romanian cuisine. And okay, something interesting in the villages in Romania. Even I was born in Bucharest. I used to go in the villages now and then. Uh, and now there, the main dish for them is polenta, because bread was harder to find, especially in the communist years in the 80s. It was harder years in Romania. That's why I ended up in revolution. And polenta. So you take some feta cheese, crumble the feta cheese with 2 boiled eggs, put polenta over it, and put some butter. I forgot the butter. And a little butter, and you love it. My granddaughter was born here in America, and she's first time she saw it was like, oh my God, that's disgusting. Then she cannot stop eating, and now asks me all the time about it. Okay, anybody else has any questions? Well, that's about it, what's going on here. I'll keep you updated during the day how my day goes. I still like to keep myself busy, and yeah, I am 75 years old now. Yeah, I just turned 75. Yeah, and I love my life. Well, guys, see you, and talk to you some other time. Bye. Oh, I'm not living yet. Where do I live? I live in Michigan, northern Michigan. Okay, guys, have a fantastic day. Oh, I have to tell you something about New Year in Romania. From all over Europe, people are going there. Romanians know how to party. And from all Europe, they are going to Romania to party for New Year's Eve. In fact, always in Europe, the big deal is the New Year's Eve. Oh, something funny. I was watching Romanian news, and they are preparing for a big party. Bye, guys.